Now looking at the inflation numbers, seeing inflation at 6.2%. Could you kindly talk us through some of the drivers to the fall in inflation and whether we could perhaps see further inflation falls going forward?
Excellent. I think Zambia is now going through a very interesting economic path, more so that we have a situation which has seen the country have what you call a sustained bumper harvest for the last 3 years. And as you may be aware, the main driver is cut. The main driver of basically the economy has been the fact that the food as well as the non-food inflationary pressures have more or less like stabilized. We have at this moment in time what you call another bumper harvest, which has now begun coming through on the market, which has further depressed the price of the staple food. So we are really having a situation which is being supported by the fact that the fuel prices on the world market would have gone up, but the Zambian government, through what you call the Fuel Stabilization Fund, have been able to come in and contain the fuel price. So the basically main drivers of the inflation have been more or less kept in check.
Well, the main drivers of inflation kept in check, seeing inflation falling back, but the central bank seems to be holding off on decreasing interest rates. In their last meeting, they left rates unchanged at 9%. Your thoughts, and perhaps we could start seeing the central bank taking measures of decreasing interest rates really on the back of falling inflation?
Well, I think the projections, year-end inflation should be within the targeted 7%, more especially that if you look at what the central bank has been doing, they have been closely watching the movements in terms of the inflation levels. But I think that certainly going forward, we should have a situation where the government will be more or less forced to be able to reduce the policy rate with a view to stimulate growth in the economy, because at the end of the day, what is challenging this government is the creation of employment. They have targeted to create about 1 million jobs in the next 2 years. So for that to happen, they certainly have to be able to work around the policy rate with a view to stimulating growth.
Let's look at the kwacha. It has been in the news over the past couple of weeks or even months there, and the kwacha has appreciated by 10% against the dollar, but has come back over the past couple of days. Your thoughts on where we could see the kwacha going in the next few months?
Well, due to the statutory instrument 33 of 2012, which the Minister of Finance put into effect in May, we have indeed been able to see the benefits of the policy direction in terms of keeping the dollar, dollar parity kind of currency out of circulation in Zambia, and that has actually worked towards strengthening the local currency, which has come down from an average of 5,700 to $1 to now trading around 4,600, which is good for the domestic economy. But I foresee a situation whereby going forward, when the whole industrial main players in terms of the mining sector, the energy sectors of the economy come to terms in terms of this new policy direction, we should see the kwacha gaining further, probably closing the year end in the average of about 4,000 to 4,200.
It's all about the economy at this stage. Just talk us through the banning of dollar transactions on the Zambian economy. What type of moves have you seen this impact having on the economy at this stage?
The current impact that we are seeing is positive in the sense that the kwacha has been able to appreciate. And I think that also has had a fall through in terms of the influencing the inflation rate. Because the prices in terms of imports, because Zambia being disadvantaged in terms of the net importer, we have seen some kind of benefit there trickling down in terms of the cost of imports and so on and so forth. But I think what is important for us to look at this moment in time is the fact that for how long are we able to sustain the current kwacha strength. So it's a challenge of the government, but I think in the short term they are succeeding. But I think in the long term, it may prove to be a challenge in the sense that the major economic drivers, the copper mining industry in Zambia certainly is having challenges in terms of how they are going to deal with the dollarization ban. And secondly, also the new statutory instrument which has been put in place, where they are compelled to retain their copper receipts or copper earnings in the local banks. So again, you are looking at exchange rate losses there, which they seem not to be comfortable with. So I think the government has to strike a balance in terms of how they are able to harmonize the interests of the mining sector, the interests of the energy sector, to the interests of the domestic economy.